What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. I don't know what's going on with YouTube, but it's crazy. It says 1 minute there's 500 people watching, then there's 2, then there's 20, then there's 900. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. It was doing it yesterday, but yeah, it's mad. Hopefully it will sort itself out. So apologies if we're buffering. I can't see any comments in anything. Everything's going mad. But that's tech for you. Looking forward to this one. Some of us are happy, some of us are sad, some of us are just content. We've got no Tobes tonight. He's got a toothache, bless him. So I wish him all the best. Hopefully he gets well soon. Don't know where Pete is. Maybe he's crying. Maybe he's upset. Maybe he's completely done with Newcastle now. But I'm sure that's not the case. No Errol tonight. Last minute he wasn't about. But we got Lawless. We got Lewis. We got Dan. We got a show. I should start with Man United, but I'm not going to. I'm going to start with Chelsea just because I don't know how long this can carry on, Lewis, man. Like I'm not even like bantering with you, bruv. Like, it wasn't the manager, it was the players, it was the owner, it was the nutty owner spending money, it was the way the club were run, then it was the players. It's never really been Potter until now. I think Chelsea fans are starting to lose patience, bruv, and I want to know where you're at and what you'd like to see happen from now on, bruv.
Yeah, I was Pottering until we lost to bottom of the table Southampton last week, and yeah, I can't be bothered for this guy. Clueless, absolutely clueless, and the job's way too big for him. The players, like I've said, the players that will hear from Tuchel are still partly to blame, but it's at this point where the manager's an even bigger problem, much bigger issue. No one's going to improve under him. The new players are already starting to look worse from when they first joined us, and it's only been a month. We've scored 1 goal this month. We haven't won a game this month. We've had 2 wins in our last 17. In the form table for the last 15 games, we're in 17th. We are literally in relegation form. And yeah, I'm tired. I'm finished. The Tottenham game was predictable. That hasn't really changed my perspective on it, but he still made clueless decisions in spite of it. Putting Havertz back into the lineup, benching Badiashile. The 3 days off after we lost to bottom of the table Southampton as well was completely mind-numbing because we've had 1 game a week and there's still no understanding of style of play, patterns of play. There's no improvement in our performances. We just look worse by the week. And yeah, against Tottenham, poor lineup, but I knew we were going to lose. But his game management still killed us in that game too. We 1-0 down, and we have the likes of Mudryk, Madueke, and Aubameyang on the bench. He brings on Mason Mount and Zakaria. I don't know how they're going to help us anymore. Then he only brings on Aubameyang and Mudryk after the second goal comes in and there's only 10 minutes left of the game. Manager doesn't help us. In the press conference, he doesn't speak with any conviction. He just says the boys gave everything. We did our best. That's life. Mason Mount likes to play, or some other just pointless buzzwords that help absolutely nobody. Doesn't look like he's helping in the dressing room. It looks like he's losing players. And as it stands right now, we're only a few games away from a relegation fight, but I'd say we're in there already because we've got winnable runs of games. We've got games against teams that we should be winning. Southampton, Tottenham away is one of our best hunting grounds. We've never conceded a goal there in the league before Potter joined. And who else? We've got Leeds coming up, Everton next week, Leicester away. These are teams that are around us as well, and they're creeping up on us because of our bad form. If we don't win these games, and then we go into April where we have to go to Old Trafford, we have to go to the Emirates, we have Brentford and Brighton at home, we have our last 2 games this season away at Man City and at home against Newcastle. Tell me where 9 points is coming from. We are in a relegation scrap if Graham Potter stays there till the end of the season, and the board need to make a decision and soon. Personally, get him out.
Lewis, he's come out today saying that remember what happened with Arteta. He's using Arteta as an example of being patient and trying to trust the process. But it's a results business, man. It's what I was saying. Like for the last couple of years when I wasn't too impressed with what Mikel Arteta was doing, I was thinking, okay, if you're going to go and do this as one of your first jobs, go and do it somewhere where it isn't going to potentially ruin one of the greatest clubs in England. And I think with Chelsea, you've been there, you've been at the top, Roman's won you stuff. If you're going to trust the process, then there is the argument to say you're going to have to stick with this guy and just wait to see what you can do. But I don't know that you can, bruv. I think it's a results business. And if Chelsea are even going to flirt with the word relegation, I never thought I'd ever hear that Chelsea and relegation.
When it comes to Arteta, right, trust is earned. And Arteta in his first 6 months, you guys had wins against Man City. You guys beat us in the cup final and won the cup. There was periods where you could understand what he was trying to do. And even in the first, even because I know the start, like it wasn't really the same football that it is now, at least you just sat back and you hoofed it. Even if you did that, we play attacking football. And we try to, with no patterns of play and no understanding of what the players' responsibilities are. The game management doesn't help us. Potter just makes every considerable mistake that you think. We haven't beaten anybody above us this season. We're barely beating the team below us. We're not keeping clean sheets. We've got as many goals conceded as games played, which is good or bad depending on where you are in the league. Personally, we don't score a lot of goals. We don't help ourselves in game. We're 30-minute FC and that's it. Like, he's got us in relegation form, and pretending that's Arteta, pretending that's Klopp doesn't work, because Arteta had results against teams that were better than him at the time. Potter doesn't have that. Klopp literally came from winning the Bundesliga twice with Dortmund and shown that he could build a team to be at that level. Took a team to a Champions League final with resources that he made or he developed. You can even make comparisons to Arteta. You can't even with your Klopp. We're just pretending. We're pretending that it's cookie cutter managers and it works that way. Potter, I gave him the right amount of time personally. Southampton was it for me, but it's done. Get rid of Potter before he costs us more games and before we're in an even worse position that we're in right now. Because I know this squad's bad, and I've said it all season. I still stand by that. The new signings aren't involved in anything I'm saying either, but the squad that we still kept wasn't good enough. But it's not 2 wins in 17 bad. It's not relegation candidates bad. The manager's got us playing at that level, so it's the manager just got to go.
No Silva either. Silva's out as well, isn't he, for a bit now?
Yeah, he's out for 6 weeks too. Bad to worse.
Wow.
No clean sheets this season without Thiago Silva, by the way.
Do you know what's mad, right, Lewis? I said this to Matisse yesterday, right? Like, Lawrence will know. I think what they've done, right, is they have, and I think I used the term yesterday with Lawrence, I said, they've got some pretty pieces of the jigsaw puzzle around the outsides of the team, but there's nothing for your spine, bruv. Like, your goalkeepers I don't rate. Your defence, you've just gone, like, Thiago Silva's out, so now you're all, like, down in the dumps. You've got no holding midfielder that I rate. I mean, Zakaria is probably your best one. Kovacic, I don't know what's going on with him.
We only had one, and we gave him to you.
Yeah, exactly. He's the one that you did have, and he's got now come to us. And there's no centre forward that I kind of trust. Like Aubameyang, he don't look in favour. João Felix, I think he's more of a 10 to a kind of false 9. Not sure that he's going to get you 15, 20 goals. Bro, it's just looking crazy. Lawless, like yesterday you were saying, keep Potter because it's a process and all that. Like, are you like on the wind up there, or do you stand by that?
No, look. Obviously, there's a simplification there, but the thing is, the way I look at it, they've spent so much money on this guy, like giving him all of these players, this contract, and all I heard from Chelsea fans were, "Oh, I'd rather not finish in the Conference League. I don't want to finish. I want to finish outside the Conference League." He's delivering what you want now. Obviously, to the point where you're talking about relegation is outrageous. Like that, he's massive. He's not just underperforming; he's massively underperforming. So his job is right to be questioned. It's just, I mean, it's a mess because they had Tuchel, and they sacked him to go in with this up and coming project manager. So where do you go if Chelsea really, and this is the thing what I say to Matisse, because I kept hearing about him, wow, we want a project. If you want to change the identity of the club of being this sack managers when it don't work, then Chelsea fans might have to learn patience. And trust me, this form is enough to test anyone's patience. So
but that's it. That's the problem. It's the way that we're playing. If there was just a couple more wins sprinkled around that run of 17 games, I would be believing. Because we wouldn't be in a relegation level sort of form. We'd be around mid-table, and it would be like, whatever. Like, I don't rate the squad anyway. Potter could be doing a little bit better, but it is what it is. Not like I'm looking at the table. I've looked at it 15 times since we lost to Southampton, and I'm struggling to get to 40 points. Genuinely struggling.
Do you think with like do you think it'd be the same? Like, say he rode it out to the summer, kept a mid-table finish, had some more signs in the summer, had a preseason. Can you see this being the same, or is it the fact that he's been? Do you give it some sort of apology for him that he's been thrown into this team midway through a season, then given a shitload of players, which I was saying to you, Potts, it was like all of these sort of players that were just names, no real strategy. It's like, Arsenal were going for Mudryk. Let's go and snap him up. Let's go and get Fernandes and spend 120 million on him, like rather than a long-term scouting. Like they've been looking at these players for a few months and saying, okay, this would be a great piece, to our centre-back issue and our midfield. And do you know what I mean? Do you feel like the recruitment and just the timing is part of the blame? Obviously, he's got to take responsibility for the way you're playing and how bad it's been. But do you give anything to the recruitment as well and that side of things?
Maybe, but that would still be more of an excuse if we had a few more wins sprinkled around it. Because, like, Tuchel, for example, came in and we were still in free competitions. We were still playing on most midweeks, especially with the way games are being postponed because that was around COVID season and everything. Right now, Potter has one game a week, except the Dortmund game. We got knocked out of both cup competitions early. I don't blame him for that. We got City away twice. Nothing you can do about it. Is what it is. But in terms of the performance, we've had a summer transfer window in 1 month and we brought in better players and we have gotten worse. Those players that started well because of their individual abilities are now looking worse too. Enzo's getting dribbled past for fun. João Felix has been invisible the last 2 games. Mudryk is 1 game away from 007 memes. Madueke, he's probably been one of the better ones. It's just Badiashile. And even Badiashile didn't look good when you take Thiago Silva out of the equation. Against Southampton, he was very sloppy. That's all, to me, saying the manager's the problem. We brought in players, he's not getting better. He's having weeks between games and he's taking days off instead of focusing on the squad. It all points to Potter. We shouldn't be in this situation. Under another manager, we probably would be a couple of places higher. I still wouldn't think we'd make top 4, but you'd have us around the conversation or something like that. Not at this level. That's on Potter.
Will Bowley pull the trigger, though? Do you see it? Because he seems to be that's his guy and he's backed him all the way and said it's a long-term thing. Like, do you think he will?
I don't know. Because it's like he's sacrificed Tuchel for him, so he kind of has to back his horse to a point. But
that looks such a stupid move now. That looks such a stupid move.
I think from Chelsea fans' perspective, we would respect Bowley even more if he just put his hands up and said, you know what, all right, cool, it's not working. We'll get rid of him. We'll try and bring in somebody better or someone to steer the ship until the summer, and then we'll start again. We won't come out this and think, oh, we're back to just Rome and hire and fire, because this is different. I've never been a manager out personally. I gave Sarri, Conte, even when it was hard with Lampard. To be honest, I think I turned on Lampard the day before he got sacked. So there is that. But Lampard and Potter, everybody else I was willing to give time to, Potter's not good enough. He just isn't. He doesn't make the right decisions. I don't see any improvement in the squad or us tactically. We don't play defensive football, which is what most teams who have no faith in their squad would do. We play attacking football. The game management is crap. His decisions are crap. The mood around Chelsea is crap. That's all on Potter. He's got to go.
Dan, would you get rid of Potter?
Yeah, I think so. I think as owners, you've got to be big enough to hold your hands up, like Lewis said, and say, look, it's not worked. It hasn't worked. It's becoming farcical now. It really is becoming farcical. I remember Lewis doing the joke on here 8 weeks ago saying, we just need to get to the 40-point mark, and we all laughed, and it was a joke. But I'm with Lewis. I don't see where they're picking points up at the moment. The Southampton game was just, I couldn't believe what I was watching. There was no leadership on the pitch. There was nothing from the bench. And I tell you something, it reminds me of two times at United. It reminds me of when Moyes was at United. He just looked like a rabbit in the headlights. Didn't have the air about him to manage this team. And it reminded me of Ollie towards the end of Ollie's term, where you just didn't know what he was doing. He was picking players and putting players in that you thought, why is he doing this? This is making things worse. Someone made a good point in the chat about how he come out and said that he'd just been in a crisis meeting. Now's not the time to be joking. Now's the time to be rolling your fucking sleeves up and trying to endear yourself to the Chelsea fans. But I genuinely think, reading what I'm reading now, it's gone too far for him already. And the thing is now, Ted Bowley's going to have to spend how much to get him out of that contract if they sack him? It's a lot, isn't it?
50, 60 mil.
Jeez, man, that's like
What?
a quality player.
He's got to hold that. Like, because if not, then we're not attracting anybody from the Championship next season.
Yeah. I completely agree. I don't know. I just think, I kind of feel like Lewis at the moment, the way it's going, I think if it could possibly, I think it's going to get worse for you before it gets better. Do you know what I mean? And I think,
bro, if you got any time, look through our fixture list from now till the end of the season and try and figure out where our points are from. I did that on a stream with my mate yesterday. I just got to 50 to 40 points because they persuaded me we could beat Forest in April. That was it.
Wait,
That was all draws.
Is that Forest away or home?
Home.
Okay,
If it was away,
yeah.
we're losing.
Yeah, they're terrible.
you and Forest, what a stat that's going to be. Combined signings in the season of like 54 players.
Honestly,
Honestly,
and they'll get more players in than we will. I promise you that.
Jesus
Lewis,
Christ.
you remind me of when we had Steve Bruce in charge, man. You remind, this is how it was for us.
This is everyone's lowest point. It's like probably Dan when Arteta was going through it in the rough.
Lewis,
Yeah.
I'll come back to the point that you made just a minute ago, and you said, I think you mentioned something about, kind of not performing to the level that is expected of someone like Graham Potter, but it is his level. This is what he was. Where you are right now is what he was doing with Brighton. So yes, he's got better players, and he's at a much bigger club, but this is where Potter normally is.
Wasn't that bad, surely?
Well, at Brighton, mid-table.
But
Apart from having a good start this season, where they were challenging higher up until he got poached from Chelsea, Brighton have been middle to bottom half of the table since he's been in charge.
The other side of it, though,
all
is
the good talk of him and his style of football and the way he plays, actually, in terms of position, is no different to where
it's
Chelsea
managing
are
the
right
players
now.
as well. Like, it's managing these big players. He's never had the. To be fair to Potter, he is like me on Football Manager. I go from the bottom to the top, and I do so well. And they name a fucking stadium after me and everything. But it's like he's done so well coming through where he's. The journey he's taken is unreal. Now he's managing players with a lot, and I mean bags of issues. You know what I mean? People that will fight back, will not agree, will upset the apple cart. He's not really dealt with this in his career, and not at a level. When he managed Brighton, okay, if he fell out of a player, with the greatest respect to Brighton, it wasn't front page news. You fall out with someone at Chelsea, everyone knows about it, and I think
honestly, Dan, but that's about stature.
So
you're absolutely right in what you're saying. He could have an argument with someone at Brighton, but everyone at Brighton knows that Potter's here, the players are here.
Exactly.
When you go to Chelsea, Potter's here, the players are here.
100%.
And that's the issue. And you've got to be able to rise to that. You've got to be able to make some difficult decisions. You've got to do what your manager's done, Eric Ten Hag, and say, you know what, I'm in charge here. Get Ronaldo out the door. The first thing you did, and do with one or two other things, and show that you're there for the fight and that you're in charge and that you're the one that's making the decisions, and that it's either my way or the highway. And that's how
Arteta did it at Arsenal.
No matter how good they are.
Arsenal did it. Arteta did it at Arsenal. Arteta, the whole Aubameyang thing. I'm the boss. You're not bigger than the club. Off you go. And if you remember, they sold him on a free.
Yeah.
You've got to, as a manager. I mean, look, we've got opinions, and that's why people, that's why we love the show, because we're fans having our opinions. But you've got to have some fucking balls about you. You've got to go in there and break some eggs with these players. You've got to believe in your own ability. And I just feel like exactly like Ollie was towards the end of his tenure, he's just dancing around the players. And it wouldn't surprise me if the likes of Matt are saying, I should be playing next week, Gaffer. You need to put me in, and him saying, yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah, that's fine. We'll do that.
It does seem like that, doesn't it? It does seem like that.
What he said in November. when they asked him about Mason Mount coming straight back into a lineup after an injury. Well, we know Mason Mount, he likes to play. What do you mean he likes to play? He's been one of our worst players this season. Likes to play. Bench his ass. Like he's literally a yes man. Literally a yes man.
But you've got a big decision here. I say you haven't. The owner has. And you guys have just talked about it a minute ago as I came on, in that, your owner has got to decide whether he's going to cut his losses and go for a new manager, or be stubborn and stick to his guns. Because I've got a feeling that he will stick to his guns, and I think the reason being is because he's come into this club and he's trying to be different as an owner. He's trying to be different, and I think sticking with him is a way of saying, I'm not going to be like the previous owner where one bad run or one long, prolonged bad run, and I'm just going to get rid of a manager and pay loads of money to get in a new manager to come and do the job for a short period of time. Because that's what you guys put your success on. It was a 3-year stint every single time at best with any manager you got in. But what you had is sustained success. He's going to come in and he's doing it differently because he's splashing out all the money on these players. And I think he saw Potter as the manager long term, as in 6, 7, 8, 9 years potentially being in charge, which hasn't traditionally been under Abramovich the Chelsea way. So I think he's going to try and be different. But I think in the long run, if he does stick with Potter, like, you guys could drop further before the end of the season. And that's the problem. And it's whether you guys are willing to go through that, to drop a couple of positions, maybe finish around top 10 or, top 8, like at best, and then stick with him and give him another season, another summer spend, another pre-season where it could either go swimmingly well and you guys could hit the ground running, or it could get even worse and it could potentially be another missed season. And there's a lot of teams on this panel that have made that mistake before.
Lewis, who would you like to see come in if you do sack Potter?
Anyone.
Ollie.
I'm not too fussed, just anybody. Like someone.
Like, there's rumours of Poch or Luis Enrique, Poch, Zidane. There's quite a few.
Hang on, isn't that what Lawless said? Isn't that the ones that Lawless said were linked with West Ham?
Well, I didn't say we're linked with West Ham. I'm sorry, but I'm asked every week, who do you want to replace Moyes? Who do you want to replace Moyes? What do you want me to say? Fucking Steve Bruce?
We admire the honesty.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll take anybody except Ollie. Anyone except Ollie. I'll be happy. But I'm not picky. Really not.
So Bruce has got a chance then.
Hey, how is he defensively? Is he good defensively?
I'm not going to answer that. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's a no then. We'll add Bruce to
just put it this way. You've got someone that at the moment that is pretty decent tactically, although you might argue against that. Steve Bruce quite openly said in press conferences that he doesn't do tactics. That was Steve Bruce in the Newcastle.
What a great thing to say in a press conference.
He said it on more than one occasion.
I tell you what, I would pay money to see Big Sam have that Chelsea job.
Hey, bring Big Sam. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. We have good press
Lewis wants anyone at this point.
I'm here for it.
Let's do it.
Here's a question though: if he goes and sacks him, will this go down as the biggest compensation to a manager? It's got to be close. How much they're talking
Probably.
Since Chelsea sacked Tuchel or Mourinho, one of the others, probably.
Like Chelsea will be in the top, in like 3 of the top 5.
Would you take Mourinho back there?
Yes. Every day. I'll bring Jose back. One last dance. Cool. Round 3.
I'll just see Ian Dowie in the chat.
He'll bully the crap players out of our football club.
Bounce back ability.
Bring me Jose Mourinho again.
Kerry Connor, Mick McCarthy, Big Sam, they're all coming in the chat, man. Listen, I think if you got to decide whatever you do next, mate, is it I want to win now manager or I want a project manager? Because I look at the squad and I understand that it's young, but none of them players are like absolute bozos, in my opinion. So there's got to be a manager out there that can get something out of them now. It ain't going to be win a Champions League. It probably ain't going to be get your top 4. But if you could just see a style of play, that would be a start. Do you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So
like,
that's the way
sorry. I use Sarri as an example. I gave Sarri all the time in the world. And I think if he stayed the second season, you would have started to see what he was trying to do. But within 5 games, I could already tell what the players in each position are meant to do. I'm already able to tell the philosophy. And I can see phases of it in game, even though it was still early. So that's someone who I'd get behind from the start. And I'd be like, cool, I see your project. I see your philosophy. I stand by it. I want to see how it comes out in a year's time. Potter, I see nothing. I see no patterns of play. I see absolutely nothing. And if he can't do that in 6 months with 600 million spent, you're the problem. Even if I don't rate half of this squad, you're the problem.
Yeah, man. It's like I actually saw the back line. I see Reece James coming back into the mix. Chilwell. I thought, okay, Chelsea might actually have something going now. But wow, it's not looking good, bruv.
Mm-hmm.
It really is not looking good. Before we move on to the cup final, Lawless. Could West Ham actually end up having could West Ham actually end up having a better season than Chelsea?
Well, this is the thing, right? How many times have I said on this show when people go, "Oh, why is a West Ham fan on a Race for Europe show?" And I say, "We're still in Europe." And then I said a few weeks back, it might have been a month or so back, West Ham will be in Europe longer than everyone else here. So far, we might as well rule Chelsea out. They're on their way out. Spurs are on their way out. Liverpool are certainly on their way out, right? Everyone laughed as if like it weren't going to happen. I'm telling you, West Ham, right? You talk about people want to talk about why is Chelsea on a Race for Europe show, because they're about to be out of Europe. Their only ticket into there. So everyone that wanted to come for me, I'm telling you, we win that Conference League. We've had a better season than Chelsea. We've had a better season than Spurs, right? And then whoever else out of here, and Newcastle as well. Let's just say that as well, because obviously they had their chance. Fair play to them, didn't show up. But look, and listen to what I said on Matisse show. He who laughs last laughs loudest, and the laughing is coming. And I see Forest fans, if he's trying to pipe up again, he's in the mud, made himself.
I'll take Cooper,
very
by the
silly.
way.
Take Cooper, Quasimodo for Chelsea. Let's have it.
Quasimodo. Do you know what's mad? If you like Lewis, you won't be able to come back on this show. If you go out of everything and they win that bloody Europa League, man, Lawless will never let you live it down. Oh, we had a much better season than Chelsea. Blah, blah, blah.
Bro, no words can hurt me anymore. I've suffered more than enough.
To be fair, most of the smoke will be aimed at Tobes. To be fair, he'll take the full brunt of that. Honestly,
yeah, but then if they get top 4, then
yeah,
I think Tottenham might get top 4.
If they get top 4, what? Well done, you've finished 4th.
They've had the same season as last season. To be fair.
Exactly.
I agree. I agree. It's pointless. But my point was, like, if you want to smoke him, then he'll just say we're in the Champions League and you're in the Europa League. That's what I was getting.
Yeah, you're in a competition that you won't win. Good for you, mate. We've got a trophy in our trophy cabinet. Yeah,
that's the thing. They would have done more in the last 15 years.
That's the thing, you know. So look, he can try it. He can try it all he wants, but he ain't gonna have shit. He's gonna be sitting there hoping. I'm telling you, it's gonna be fireworks, mate. I'm holding on to that. That's what I'm holding on to. We got Larnaca. So
well, mate, we'll pick this up again when we start speaking about West Ham's game and if they can go on a run of wins now, pick up their form. But we have to talk about the cup final, man. Do you know what? Before I come to Pete and Dan, I'll come to you first on the cup final, Lou. Yeah, because I know you got to go soon, bruv. Like, do you look at Ten Hag and think, that might have been a kind of option? And I know it wouldn't have been because she had Tuchel at the time, blah blah blah. But like, I think he's done really well, man. I can't sit there and lie to you. I think this season, I know that he spent money. I understand that people will throw that back in people's face the minute you question it. But he did actually do pretty well at Ajax. He's come in. He's dealt with quite a lot, in my opinion, in the first few months of his first managerial job in England. He's dealt with a Ronaldo. He had Maguire. Everyone was laughing at. He had that Brentford and Brighton result where everyone was just like, what have you taken over here? And the players, apart from Anthony, have all bangs that he's brought in. I can't lie, man. So what do you make of the job Ten Hag's done? And do you think this trophy will then take him forward to a successful kind of managerial career at Man United, bro?
I hate it, and I'm very jealous of it because it's amazing. It should be amazing from a United point of view to watch. You guys should probably feel so comfortable because Ten Hag's come in, made all the right decisions. managed to fight Cristiano Ronaldo and win. Bench Maguire. The Carabao Cup trophy, it feels like Jose Mourinho in 2005 with our League Cup trophy and what it led to afterwards. And he has those vibes about him. He's got brilliant game management. He's doing well with a squad that I didn't think were going to make top 4. And if anything, it's just also exposed Potter, because it's like, look what this guy can do. And you're here with 2 in 17. And I'm really meant to still believe in the process. No. But yeah, from an opposition perspective, it's a bit worrying, but like, we're not really your rivals this season. If anything, I'm low-key hoping you guys might do a job for the league title if City ends up dropping off, because I actually do think you guys could keep in the race. Ten Hag's that good of a manager and he's making the most out of the squad. So I think you guys could be in the conversation. But yeah, Ten Hag doing an unbelievable job. And if you guys would like to do a swap, I'm all for
it. Yeah, man. Listen, Dan, you must be buzzing, mate. Trophy in the bag, Ten Hag coming in, Casemiro, I mean, one of the signings of the season for me, if not the signing of the season. He's been ridiculously good, mate. Rashford killing it. I'll come to Pete in a minute, but Dan, you got to be happy boy at the moment, mate.
A couple of weeks ago, because me and Pete had a bit of a chat about Newcastle against United, I had all the Newcastle fans saying, you watch out, you wait. So all I got to say to you guys, other than what's his chap here, Jordan 2 for life, big respect to what you said there. Acknowledge me. Acknowledge me, right? I said that we would win. I said it. And I tell you what makes this win so much more sweeter. And I'm not bantering Pete here, so don't. I hope you don't take it that way. We've had to face Barcelona twice in the last 2 weeks. We've been playing games every 3 days. Okay? I don't know how we're doing it. It's obviously something to do with the way Ten Hag has those players running through brick walls for him, but we keep answering question after question thrown at us, okay? No one expected us to do anything like this season. If you just said to me at the start of the season, Dan, I'll give you the Carabao Cup final, I'll give you that win, and I'll have you beating Barcelona over 2 legs and finishing 4th, I would have snapped your hand off and I'd have run for the hills. This is unreal. This is unreal. The way that team performed on Sunday, bearing in mind Newcastle had a week off, so they had a good chance to rest. Yeah. United didn't. We played Barca on Thursday and we were back in on Sunday, 2.5 days after. I don't know how he's doing it, but this man is absolutely doing everything possible, right? And I tell you something, De Gea, who I've been a critic of, put some respect on his name. He just broke Peter Schmeichel's goalkeeper record for clean sheets for United in that final on Sunday. 181 clean sheets for United. When you think about how bad United have been over the last 10 years that he's been there, unreal. I'm in dreamland with him. I know that we say the Carabao Cup is a nothing. I get that. And for years, I've laughed at Liverpool fans for winning it. But you know something? And this is something that Lewis said there, and I was exactly the same, Lewis. The first thing I thought was, I remember when Mourinho beat Liverpool for the Carabao Cup final, and I just sat there. I said to my mates in the pub, I said, "We're onto something here. We really are onto something here. 2 or 3 signings. If the Qataris come in, which it looks like it's going to happen, we are 2 or 3 signings away from doing something, from just causing absolute mayhem from that top 2 that we've had the last 3 or 4 years." I think it's absolutely unreal. I'm in dreamland with it. I'm in absolute dreamland with it. I cannot be any happier.
A lot of people in the comments on Twitter saying you cheated, basically, VAR. A lot of people were saying, I don't know, I'm not got a thing either way. A lot of people were saying that the goal should have been offside.
Don't throw that angle out there.
I'm saying it's in the chat, and it was all on
from
Twitter.
A small section of fans. That is not the majority.
They may or may not have been Liverpool fans.
Yeah, probably, because to be fair, we had a lot of Liverpool fans and all the rest of it that did want us to win. But look, and I'm just going to jump in here, Potts.
You do it, brother.
That you boys deserve to win. I said it in the chat on the day I was in London. I didn't have a ticket, but I went down, watched it in a sports bar in London with all Newcastle fans. The atmosphere was electric. The Man United fans, the Newcastle fans. It was amazing just to be down there and in amongst it, and I was glad I went. But talking about the game, like, we did not turn up. We did not turn up whatsoever, and that's the thing that disappoints me more than anything. I can take us not winning the game. I can take Man United winning the game the way in which they did. I think Lewis, you talked about Eric Ten Hag in terms of his game management. His game management was on point on Sunday. He handled that game so well, and there was a lot of naivety in Newcastle United's performance that I wasn't quite expecting. If I'm honest with you, I thought we were going to perform better. I thought we were going to create more chances. We had a half decent chance in the first half that St. Maximin made on his own, which was a tight angle, good save from De Gea. But other than that, we didn't really create anything. And when I'm watching that game and I'm looking at that and I'm just thinking, nah. It was almost one step too far for Newcastle. I'm not going to be down about it. I'm not going to be upset about it. I wasn't expecting it. I thought we were going to put up more of a fight. The fact that Bruno and ASM got taken off earlier in the second half says that he's looking ahead to the rest of the season. Players.
Was Bruno injured?
He injured his ankle.
I thought so, yeah.
ASM was a different thing. I think he's saving him for the games that are coming up, personally. But look, we didn't turn up. We didn't deserve to win the game. Far from it. And there was a lot of naivety in our performance, which shows that there's still a lot of work to do with Newcastle. Like, I'm not going to be angry about it. We have had a great season regardless. Nobody thought we'd get to a final. We're still in the race for top four or Europe in general. I'll take any Europe right now. But I expect Newcastle United, and to be fair, it's been bandied about the last couple of days after the final. I expect Newcastle and the ownership to go out in the summer and get 2 or 3 top quality players and spend a bit of money, more than we have previously, to get those players to play in Europe, to not only play in Europe, but also, to be fair, I expect in the summer, I expect us to get like seven new signings, at least 7 new signings.
How many go out, mate?
Because we've got players that need to leave the club. I mean, Matt Ritchie come off the bench. Like, that should never happen. Like, he's finished at the club. Good lad, good servant, shouldn't be coming off the bench. Jacob Murphy's another one. You know, there are a number of others. People like Paul Dummett that's not played a game all season. All those guys need to get off the wage bill. They need to move on, and we need to build a squad that hopefully is ready for European football. But in isolation for the game, you know what? As Jordan 2 for life, he got in there before me. You know, fair play to Man United. They deserved it. And I've got no arguments on that whatsoever.
Yeah, man.
And no arguments about VAR.
Don't mention big money.
All this rubbish. It's a load of rubbish.
Don't mention big
the
money.
2 goals were genuine good goals. That's it.
See, you know what I didn't understand is why did he start Wilson over Isaac? Or I don't know how you say it.
He was always going to start Wilson because, and I said it right at the beginning of the season, even when we signed Alexander Isak, this was going to be Wilson's season. First of all, it was going to be. It was to get Wilson into the World Cup, and he was always going to see Wilson through because this is Wilson's last season at Newcastle, starting week in, week out. Wilson, in my opinion, will either ride the bench next season or be sold in the summer, and I've said it for a while because Callum Wilson, at 31 years old, I think it was his birthday yesterday or today, can't remember which, 31 years old, and with his injury record and the fact that he's missed chances recently, and we need someone that's a little bit more potent up there that's going to push the likes of Isak. And we need not just one top quality striker, we need 2. And if we're going to play European football next season, which I hope we do in some capacity, we're going to need to have options that are ready to go all the time and not being guaranteed a place regardless. And I think this is where Eddie Howe is going to start earning his money, because he's got a lot of players around him that he knows who he's familiar with, the likes of Fraser, Ritchie, Wilson, and he's going to have to start making tough decisions now in moving some of these players on and getting in players that are ready to go. And if he gets it right, we'll be up there. Next season, I'm not saying top 4, but we'll be up there challenging for European positions again. But if he gets it wrong and he sticks with some of these players, we could potentially have a drop-off, and I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, I think it could be a drop-off. It's just, I still think, like you say, Pete, you finish in that top 6. That's a great season for Newcastle, in my opinion. Get into a cup final and to get into that top 6. Lewis, I know you've got to go, bro. Just quickly, prediction, Chelsea leads.
No, Thiago Silva, innit? 3-1 Leeds. Disappointing afternoon for the Blues. Far out.
Bruv, I need you. Do you know what? I actually don't mind if Chelsea win, just to give you something to actually smile on your face, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? Wow.
Don't worry, Potter will be sacked soon. Then we'll be smiling again.
Mate, always a pleasure, brother. See you next week, man.
Take care.
Respect, bro.
Dan, I've got to say, like, Eric Ten Hag, like, real talk, like, he's basically coming at Man United when you're a bit of a laughing stock. Like, I don't think that's harsh saying that. I think that De Gea was being laughed at, Maguire was being laughed at, Shaw was being laughed at, Wan-Bissaka was being laughed at. I'd say, other than Maguire, who he's actually dealt with, De Gea's been on fire. Like, Luke Shaw looks like a different defender. Wan-Bissaka, that was unbelievable, by the way, that substitution. Bringing that on was just ridiculously good from Ten Hag. Bringing in Casemiro, Lisandro Martinez has been a good player for you. Like, bro, I can't lie. Like, I don't really know that the guy's done much wrong. So I do look at, I was on this show last night with Henry Wright and with Kaz and with Lee Gunnar, just talking about it. And they were just like, I'm actually worried about United if these Qatari owners come in, because Ten Hag's proven with only a few signings that he can change the way that Manchester United are in terms of their mentality and their style of play. If you just add more players to that, which, let's be fair, Man United spend anyway, without these new ownerships with the Glazers, you must be in good stead now, mate. Like, so I want to ask you, like, at the moment, things look rosy. Can this continue? And can you go and win some more stuff? Because you're in the FA Cup, you're in the Europa League, along with us, your favourites for it with us. You've obviously got a title race on your hands. People might believe that not to be the case, but with Manchester City and Arsenal not exactly flying and thinking, wow, this is Arsenal's or City's, like, between them, I think United could sneak up the way that you're playing. If you keep the players fit, I don't see why you can't go for it all, man. So what's your thoughts, bruv?
Look, I mean, it's been a long season already for United. We've played a lot of football. Being in all 4 competitions is going to take a toll on the players that we've got. The problem we've got is we're a couple of injuries away from it all going completely peaked on. It showed when Casemiro was missing from the squad. It showed massively. It's not just what he does on the ball; it's what he does off the ball with the players. I look at Fred playing without Casemiro, and it's Fred that played for Ollie. Awful, laughable. Fred playing with Casemiro is absolutely unreal. He's just man marks. He's quicker with the ball out of his feet. He's got a goal in him. He looks more confident. What's this, Dello? Had a yellow card. Yeah, well, yeah. No, I agree with that, Geordie team. For
ISM did have his number in the first half.
Yeah,
Wan-Bissaka just put the hammer down second half and just stopped anything from happening.
I actually thought with that though, Pete, I was surprised he didn't start Wan-Bissaka with ASM, to be honest, because Wan-Bissaka is the type that will stick, doesn't he? He's not great going forward, we know that, but he loves a challenge, and actually. He's changed a lot of Manchester United fans' opinions of him. So long we were saying we needed a new right back. I don't think we'll go for a right back in the summer now. I think we've got 2 there that he's comfortable with. So I don't know. But with regards to the league, I don't think we're in a title challenge. I honestly don't. I'm not trying to be coy about that. I just think it's too soon. Enjoy what we're doing now. And the one thing I will say that Ten Hag said at the start of the season is he wants to win every game. He wants to win every game, and he'll set a team up to do so. Whether or not we'll see that tomorrow night against West Ham, whether we'll see a couple drop out, I don't know. But it just depends. I mean, as I said before, he keeps having questions asked about him, and he keeps answering them. We keep winning. We keep getting further and further. So it's one of them. I think we can continue far into the other competitions. I think the Premier League is out of our.
Do you think United can go on and win anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I think they can. I definitely think they can. Like, the Europa League is there. Obviously, the FA Cup, if they can get past us tomorrow. yeah, the Premier League might be a step too far, but yeah, they've got a good team there and a really good manager. And now they've got that first. They always say the good thing about the League Cup is that first early trophy you can get. You know, I mean, it's not too deep into the season, and they get a taste for it. So why not?
Fair play, man. Let's move to West Ham United quick. As in West Ham v Man United quick. What's your thoughts, both of you, going into that one? Lawless?
Well, this is an interesting one. Like, honestly, I'd be worried about playing them at Old Trafford any other time, but I think this is the best possible time with them obviously playing Barcelona Thursday, playing a cup final on Sunday, and now having to play another game. So I don't know whether they're going to rest players or what, but there's an opportunity for us to, you know, maybe have a bit fresher legs, even though we played Saturday. I mean, that's some intense games of football in a very short space of time. Then they've got a huge game on the weekend against Liverpool. So, I mean, if I'm Ten Hag, I rest some players. So I think we've got a good chance. Moyes, if he don't shit himself, like there's no point you can get. You can't play for a point because it's win or lose. It wouldn't surprise me if he goes, "Oh, try and keep it 0-0 and nick it like in the last minute." But if we go for it, I think there's a chance for an upset in this game.
Dan, you reckon you can beat West Ham?
Yeah, I think we can, but I think I echo what Lawless said there. I think because of the games and the frequency we're having them at the moment and how big each game has been for United, I do think he'll rest players tomorrow. I think you'll see Malacia come in. I think you'll see Maguire come in for Varane. I think you'll see Garnacho come in. It's one of them. But the thing with West Ham is they have to do what Leeds did when Leeds come to us. And that's attack from the off. And that is hit United, because one thing United have been slow at this season is we have been slow out in the box in some games, at home as well. It's a cup competition. I'm still confident we'll win. I think we'll win 2-1. But as I said, I think the changes could make a massive difference.
Fair play, man. Pete, we can't talk about the FA Cup because we're not in it, and it's not important anyway, mate. I don't care either. Like, who cares? It's the FA Cup. I'm with Pete. Who cares?
I don't care. All I care about is not getting smashed at the weekend at the Etihad.
Mate, I'm praying. I'm just praying.
You fucking better get smashed.
There's trouble brewing at City. I'm telling you, Alvarez has come out today, hasn't he, and said he's not happy there. There is trouble brewing now there. Players are coming out.
I hope so. I hope they get done over with their financial fair play as well. Before we move to West Ham, Pete, I didn't actually touch on your prediction. You got Man City. That is a massive game, man. Massive game as far as I'm concerned. Do you think you could do anything there, bruv?
You know what? Honestly, I cannot predict it because it could go one or two ways. It was always going to be a difficult game regardless. Are we going to be licking our wounds and sulking and go and get beat comfortably, or are we going to hit back with something strong to send a message to say we're still trying to finish as high up in the league as possible? I don't know which Newcastle we're going to get. I don't know whether Bruno's fit or not. Obviously, he got his ankle injury. I think it was more of a precaution that they took him off. Obviously, Gordon will come back into the mix. Pope will be back into the mix. Tyrannosaurus was saying, we have to win. We do have to win, not just for you guys. More importantly for us, we need to win.
Pete, quick question, mate. Sorry about the final. How did you think Karius did?
I don't think Karius had a bad game. I'll be honest with you. Like, I'm not gonna go out and point fingers at any Newcastle player. Because I don't think anyone stood out by being responsible for any goal. I don't think anyone stood out by being really, really poor. I just think overall, as a team, it just wasn't a good performance, and we didn't do enough to really put you guys under pressure. Joe Linton's not out.
The only reason I asked that, Pete, is because this is something that really fucked me off. I'm sorry if it's swearing before the watershed. The shit that Karius got from Liverpool fans after the Champions League and ever since then was diabolical, right? And because he's playing against one of their biggest rivals, all the love starts coming for Karius again. And I sat there and I read these tweets and I thought, you absolute tossers. You absolute tossers. You are one of the biggest reasons that bloke's confidence went fucking down into the mud. So how dare you come out and say Karius is going to do this weekend? We're behind you, Karius.
He made some good saves. He made some good saves on Sunday.
Should have saved the second goal, though, to be fair. Should have saved
it. Was a deflection, though. It was a deflection, though.
I think
it's not Botman. It's not Botman's fault. It's not Karius' fault. He kind of committed down low. He's had to readjust his position. I'm not going to blame him for that.
No,
it was unlucky.
I think this has saved his career playing in that cup final. Yeah. I think he goes on now to another team and gets
a good save from Weghorst. Good save from Weghorst, I thought. Yeah.
But and there's one from Rashford in the second half as well, low down, when he hits on the counter attack. It was a really, really strong save with his.
I just won't have it. Won't have Liverpool fans fucking coming out and saying, "Oh, go on, Karius, we believe in you. You'll never walk alone." That twat walked alone after the Champions League final.
They shat on him. They absolutely shat on him. You're right, Dad. They absolutely shat on him after that, and that was. It was almost like Klopp had to get rid of it.
We're a club of the people.
Klopp loved him.
We're a club of the people. Load of bollocks.
Klopp loved him, and they had to get rid of him.
I swear Dubravka walked away with a winner's medal from that game as well.
He did.
How crazy is that? How awkward must that been? Him on the bus.
Lawless. He's still walking back to Newcastle now. That's the problem. He's told he ain't riding with us, not with that.
Who else did? Phil Jones, the other one who did. Phil bloody Jones. He's still there. About 15-year contract.
Hell, man.
Did you also see the disrespect to Avram Grant by all the United players? They all just pied him. Every one of them just.
Avram Glazer, you mean?
Yeah, Avram Glazer.
Oh,
sorry,
I was going to say.
We like Avram Grant. And no,
fuck Avram Grant.
He's there, with his hands like, "Oh, we've just won a cup. Come on, guys, give me a high." Oh, fuck your God. Hi. Oh, fuck your God. Hi. Oh,
fair play, man. Fair play. Fair play. They're going, aren't they? They're
Boys, I've got a show unloaded. I need to shoot.
Calm.
But look, mad respect. Thank you for always having us on. Really appreciate it. Dan, top man, well deserved. Hopefully we can do you all a favour at the weekend and beat Man City.
Fuck off, Pete.
I'll be full of smiles again.
No.
Hey, Lawless, I need it for us more than anything because we need to get back into winning ways. We've got a decent run after the Man City game, actually, apart from Man United at home, but we've got a decent run where I think we can pick up some points. So hopefully we can hit back strong.
That's one,
Pete. Result. But you boys take care.
Yeah, you too. I hope you win, man. I really hope you win.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, man. Lawless. West Ham finally won a game. Moyes is in. They're keeping him now. Surely, he's definitely staying. He would have gone by now. So, just see what you do to the end of the season, and it's got to win that Europa Conference League, which I guess is coming back soon.
Yeah, it is 9th of March. I think it's 9th of March is our next game. Larnaca, which I know we got Larnaca away on that. Yeah, so it's back. It's going to be getting very, very Larnaca, man. Great holiday destination.
Larnaca.
It sounds like a character out of the Matrix.
Listen,
the hell is it?
It's a great holiday destination in Cyprus. You know what I mean? Like lovely weather.
Are you going?
Yeah. I'm hoping to. I'm trying. We're waiting to see what the capacity is going to be. So, look, Forest, like I said, worst team I've seen at London Stadium this season. I can't understand some of our fans that were getting onto me saying, "Oh, they're above us and they're a decent team." And no, like their away record speaks for itself. So I'm going to enjoy the win. I'm going to take the positives out of it, but I'm going to keep my head screwed on. I'm not getting carried away. Wait,
still think you'll finish above Man United?
I knew you was sitting on that one. I knew you was just sitting on that one all this time. I think we will next season, maybe.
Next,
perhaps. Honestly, it's crazy. The great job that Ten Hag has done versus the shambolic job that Moyes has done this season. No one could have predicted either. So that's obviously going to come back to haunt me for a while. But you
actually played pretty good in the last 20 minutes. I thought.
I remember you saying you'd fucking finish again.
Oh, look!
Do it.
Cut it off again. Cut the internet off.
As soon as I heard it, my camera went off, and I was like, "Fuck!"
I think you'll. I actually thought you played pretty well the last 25 minutes, Lawless. Like real talk.
Yeah, no, we did. Like I said, you take the handbrake off, you have players in the correct positions, and great things can happen. Paqueta has been on that guy, all season saying how great he is, and he got to show it, And Ings, fair play to him. I was sort of a bit unimpressed with him up until the point where he started scoring them goals.
He will always score, man. He will always score. He's done it everywhere.
Yeah, as long as he does that, at least, that's the main thing you can ask for. So that's what I've been saying. Like, there's good players. There's a good team here. If they're just managed correctly. Paqueta's come out and said that they're starting to finally gel. So, obviously there's that. But, I mean, this has taken a bloody long time. It don't help with the injuries and that. But, yeah, look, I think we can still go on to win that Conference League. It's just now, for me, we just need enough of a cushion away from that relegation zone. If we can get a point against Brighton away, and we get 3 points against Villa, that's 4 points in our next 2 games, right? We could probably lose against Man City for the good of football as well. I won't be crying too hard. So yeah, 4 points on next. We're climbing up. We'll obviously 2 points behind Forest. We'll overtake them and push ourselves away from the bottom, and then get some breathing room for this cup run. Larnaca, we can rotate massively for that.
I guess you want FA Cup over the Europa Conference, though, yeah?
Yeah, like if you offered me, and this is what I said on my preview, if you said, like, what one would you rather have? I'd rather have the FA Cup. I've always said it for me, it goes League Cup, then Conference League Cup, then FA Cup, then Europa League, Premier League, Champions League, right? That's the hierarchy of cup trophies. So, yeah, I would. But if you ask me what to prioritize, obviously we've got more chance of winning the Conference League. And that's the thing. And look, more on Moyes, if he wins the Conference League, he can go out on a high. He can go out with his head held up a bit on a positive.
They ain't going to sack him, bro, if he wins that.
No, he's not.
They'd be stupid. But this is what we've got to hope the new ownership comes in, that this takeover happens. And then the new owners would be saying, like, okay, we need to get our own guy in. Do you know what I mean? That's what I need to hope on, because it seems like Sullivan is not trying to sack Moyes at all. It seems like he's been wanting to stick with him no matter what. So once Sullivan fucks off, we have more chance. So he can look. I just think he's finished. I just think, like, as a manager, he's not in touch with the modern game. So let's see if we can get a favourable run. The good teams that are still in it, the other favourites, are Lazio, Villarreal, and Fiorentina. Right, they're the teams we've got.
Tough. Villarreal,
yeah,
tough, aren't they?
They've won the Europa League, a very good team. They're the ones I'm worried about the most. So yeah, we've really got to watch out for those three most of all. But then there's always potential to slip on.
I think it will be a unknown that wins it. It'll just be like a random team. I think it'll just be one of those teams that just. It'll be someone that I never heard of. Yeah, like West Ham.
What do you base that on, Potts? Like, you got that one late, didn't you?
I did. I got that well late.
That one bloody late. Yeah, what do you base that off? Like, you think Larnaca or fucking...
Nah, it won't be one. It'll be like I don't know. Someone has been in the Champions League before. It'll be like Ludogorets or Qarabag.
Ludogorets are in it.
Someone quite random like that, I reckon.
I
think Fiorentina, they're okay, to be fair. Like, Juko Jovic has gone there and I think he's doing okay. Lazio, I don't know what they've done, if I'm honest with you, this year. They've got a player I really like in Milinkovic-Savic. Who did you say was? Villarreal, obviously, under Emery were good, but are they any good this season? I'm not so sure. Maybe they are. I don't know. I've not watched them. But you've got to be going into that, at least get into the semis. Like, come on. Like, at least West Ham.
Yeah.
If you don't get to at least the semis, it's been a shambles. You might as well just sack Moyes, because, if you can't beat those teams, you ain't going to do anything in the Prem. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, the only way I would want to keep Moyes, we win the FA Cup. If we win the FA Cup, then I'll say, right, let's stick with this guy. That's the only way. If he keeps us up and wins the
He
conference,
got you to the semis of the Europa League, so why can't he go the full way in the conference, mate?
he might.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But that's it. Like to
Like,
me,
you lost to who did you lose to? Frankfurt, wasn't it?
Frankfurt. Yeah,
But you beat Seville and
Leon.
who else? Leon. They're all better teams or as good a teams as Fiorentina and Lazio, bruv. So you got a chance.
Yeah, well, we just don't play fucking Creswell. Whatever you do not play
Yeah,
Creswell.
but that Ben Johnson at left back ain't much better.
No, to be fair, like he had a decent game, but he's not a left back; he's a right back. You know,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. And I would have listened. We was actually the games we played well against Leon and Sevilla. He was at left back because Creswell was suspended. So when in the Europa League, we did.
Are you happy that obviously no one's happy that an injury happens to anyone, but you're happy that Areola's coming in and going to get some games?
Yeah, like obviously the circumstances are over it.
I thought Dan was actually winding him up. He doesn't know.
No. I'm being serious because I like Areola. I do.
Yeah, he's not like you. He's not like you, Potts. Let me just throw out Areola and Aguerd out there and just laugh to myself.
Oh, I actually thought Dan was on a wind up. I loved that.
No, he's more refined than that. Yeah, no.
Fucking hell, yeah.
I'm glad. The circumstances are horrible. Apparently, he's got like a fractured cheekbone or something.
Yeah.
But Areola coming in, he made a great save towards the end. This is his chance now.
Could be a blessing, Lawless. Could be a blessing.
And obviously Moyes, it just didn't make sense to me. We paid 11 million for him, paid him 100 grand a week, and just didn't, just had him as our cup keeper when Fabianski's in his last year of his contract, 37 years old. You got to have that crossover period now.
This could make Moyes look even worse as well, because if he comes in and keeps 3 or 4 clean sheets his next 5 or 6 games, West Ham fans are going to go berserk, aren't they? Because they'll be like, why the fuck's this bloke been on the bench for so long? Do you know what I mean? It's just, and he wouldn't have dropped him, wouldn't he? I mean, I think he plays the conference games, doesn't he? But he wouldn't have dropped him for Fabianski unless it was that injury. He was dead set, wasn't he?
And Fabianski's had a few poor games where you could have said this, that like, okay, look, let's switch it up. Like this season, from day one, Fabianski should have been the cup keeper and Areola the Prem keeper. They should have done that. But yeah, so no, I mean, there's certain, obviously Cornet looks like he's going to be back now. Zuma's back. So we're starting to get our players back fit. So I think just by default, the fact that Moyes has a good squad available, we should be able to climb away from the relegation zone and get enough points there to not worry about that business and get through the Conference League. I'm looking at tomorrow's game and I just think, look, whatever happens. If we lose, let's just lose with some class. Let's actually go for it. Don't sit there and go back to the 5 at the back. The 5 at the back now is the B formation. That cannot be the first option now. I don't want to sit like we played it against Chelsea and Spurs. No, play the 4 at the back. Let's go at teams a bit. And let's go out tomorrow. Nothing to lose. No one's going to go mad at him if we go out the FA Cup, if we go out swinging. If you go there and super defensive and we lose, like we did against Spurs, then that's where you get a bit of stick.
Thing is, though, West Ham have actually got like not a bad side, Like you look at Areola in goal, Soufal right back, left back Emerson, I suppose. Then at the back, Zuma and Aguerd. Then you've got Declan Rice, Souček and Paqueta, Bowen, Benrahma, and then either Skamaka or Ings. Like they should not be nowhere near relegation with that side. I know you have not got unbelievable depth. Like you need a left back, by the way. Like I can't believe you've still not got a left back that's any good. But like real talk, you should not be nowhere near. I think you might start to pick up a bit now, Lawless. I actually do. I actually think you will a bit.
I think they will as well.
I'm not saying you'll win tomorrow, but in the league, I reckon you'll. Like, what's your next run of games looking like? Next couple.
So yeah, we've got Brighton away, who we've never beat them since they got promoted back to the Premier League. Last time I saw us beat them was in the Championship, where we smashed them like 6-0. I was there. It was like fucking amazing. And they took that personally. So yeah, we got Brighton away, which I don't expect to win, but if we do, that's massive. And then Aston Villa at home, we have to be looking at that to try and get 3 points, even though they're good. Then Man City away, which is kind of, a write-off. Obviously, in between, we've got Larnaca before Villa and then Larnaca before City. So that makes it even trickier. And then Southampton at home after Man City. So some winnable games. Newcastle at home, Fulham away, and then Arsenal at home on the 16th of April, where maybe we can do football a favour. So it's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag.
With your ship, aren't you? You're gonna go down with your ship, Lawless.
But it's a mixed bag. But to me, like, I can't sit there and look at it and go, oh, it's Newcastle, so we can't expect to beat them because they're higher up. It's Fulham, look where they are. And, you know, it's Brighton. Like, we have to start getting these kind of wins now. I'm not saying we should expect to beat all of these teams, but there has to be points where we go into it as the underdogs and we come out with 3 points. And you don't do that by going into it and absolutely shitting yourself and hoping you can just park the bus and nick a goal in the late on into the game. We've got the attacking talent there. We've got quality players. Let them flex their muscles. We'll you know, and then we'll win some, and obviously we'll lose some. We'll pick up a point, but playing for a point each game is not going to do us.
You ain't gonna go down, in my opinion. Anyway, you ain't gonna go down, and you just go all out for the cups. And if you get one, it's a good season.
But this is the thing, Potts. The sooner that we push ourselves away from that relegation battle, the sooner we're out of that mix, means that we can more confidently go all out in the cups. Do you know what I mean? If we're not having to keep an eye on the bottom of the table and seeing what them teams are doing, then we can, you know, just go and say, look, even though it's fucking Larnaca, let's play a strong side. Even though whoever we got next, let's play a strong side. So that's why it's key for me. Let's start picking up some wins, and then we won't have to worry. It's First of all, like obviously Everton are back down there. Obviously they lost, so there's still a chance they could be in the. I'm waiting to see what Leeds do with Garcia.
It's Leeds or Everton for me, and I think it'll be Leeds.
That was odd, that appointment. I mean, that guy's
Javi Gracia. He ain't gonna keep Leeds up, I don't think. But you know,
I mean,
it's Southampton and Bournemouth. I think they're done. Southampton and Bournemouth look done, and then I think it'll be Leeds now. I did say Everton at the start of the season, but that was because they had Lampard, and I genuinely believe they would have gone down if they would have kept him. But I think Dyche has given them a little bit of a hope now, and if they can keep Calvert-Lewin fit, who I believe is out tomorrow, then I think they've got a chance to score.
That's a big if. That's a big if, and the problem is they had Calvert-Lewin against Villa. They just cannot score goals, and that is the problem when you're in a relegation battle. And you
they'll probably score 2 against us tomorrow. Now you've said that.
Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, but that's it. They've got some tough fixtures coming up, and that's the thing. And this is the big thing. That was the problem for us. It's not so much leaking goals. If you can't score goals, as Michael Owen famously once said, you rarely win games. But it's the opposite. But you can't win.
It's true, though.
Can't score, you can't win, right? You can leak goals and outscore your opponents, right? And that was our problem. We weren't scoring goals. We scored 4 the other day, thankfully. If they can sort that out, then you got a chance. Otherwise, what? Your only options are win or lose. If you can't, lose or draw, and you're not picking up enough points. So that's where I think is the worry for them. No attacking talent. The fact they didn't address that is a big worry. So we just need to bang the goals in. And I think Forest, let's not count Forest out. They could be down in the dumps.
I've said this.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I think they're not out of it. They're not out of it.
They're nowhere near out of it.
No, Forest Fan TV, West Ham will finish below Forest, and there's people agreeing.
We've gone 2 points behind them, right? We've gone 2 points behind them. They've got Everton next, I think, on the weekend at home, which is big game. If they lose that, if Forest lose that, right, they need to start panicking. So listen, you made yourself look silly one time this week already, Forest Fan TV, right? Now's the time to keep your head down and hope that things go your way, mate.
The other team that look in relegation form is Palace. Now I don't think they're going to go down, don't get me wrong, but they look like I don't think they're looking great, to be fair.
I'm so disappointed because
he's like not going to like me for saying that, but you know.
I'm so disappointed because I was really, praising Vieira, man, and the job he was doing. And like, boy, it's just his big problem is he can't see games out.
Lost players, haven't they? They've lost players and it don't look the same now. But...
Yeah, but his game management to not be able to help see games out, to be winning or to be drawing and then just keep.
They ain't won a game this year, have they? I think it's
that Eze quality. Eze,
Elise and Eze are quality. They're obviously missing Zaha. They've got Noah Anderson at the back. They've got problems, I think, at left back and centre back.
They lost Jack Butland in the January as well.
Yeah, they've lost Jack Butland. But anyway, listen, touch on Arsenal very quickly before we wrap up. Obviously,
right,
a win
yeah,
against
yeah.
Leicester. Yes, it was quite. There's not much to talk about really, other than I thought we dominated them. It's the most domination 1-0 I've ever seen. I think. And one shot that went miles wide. And that's about all they did. Leicester don't look the same without Maddison, man. They really don't look the same without Maddison. They don't look a good side without him. Having said that, some of their players look half decent. They brought in. I think their left back actually looks pretty good.
He looks, yeah, I liked him.
Yeah, I like him. I think he looks good. Scored a good goal. Martinelli again on the score sheet, 2-2 for him now. The goal that we scored was wicked from Trossard. Absolutely amazing strike, but it was a foul. Bit soft, but probably was a foul if you look back at it. You can't really hold hands with a goalkeeper, can you? But I will say I don't know why the Saka one wasn't given as a penalty, because if that's a foul, then that clearly is a foul as well. But other than that, 1-0 win. I want to ask you both if you have changed your thoughts on Arsenal at all and how important tomorrow night is that we beat Everton. Dan, start with you.
I think I go back to what you said before. I don't know who wants to win this Premier League. I don't know who wants to win this Premier League, because you've had opportunities to pull away. You know, we all know you were a few points ahead, but you've had opportunities to pull away from City. You haven't taken them. City have had opportunities to pull back in there and go ahead. Haven't really taken them. This is going to be seesawing all the way till you two play each other. I honestly think that. I think it's going to go down to you two playing each other. It's just so inconsistent. This season has been so inconsistent. It really has.
Yeah, it's going to be mad, man. It's going to be mad. But what's frustrating, I suppose, is that we haven't pulled away, like you said. But at the same time, when I was away, like we had some shocking results, and I come back and we still weren't second. And I'm like you said, Man City don't want this year. It seems like like the Man City I know should be about 8 points clear now with that. Do you know what I mean? And they're not. So it gives me hope that perhaps this season's a bit different. I do worry about Man United. I can't lie. I don't sit there and say they're going to win the league, but I don't think they're out of it. I think people that are saying you're not in a title race are mad. Like, even when you were like in a title race for like 3 days and then went, oh, no, all right, fair enough, we're not. And everyone laughed. I thought, hang on, it's only like 3 days. Let's give it time. There's still a lot of football.
I said, when you asked me, are we in a title race? I said, no, we enjoy it.
You did. No, you did. You're not one of those. There's a lot of people that got very excited and then very like down and depressed after like Arsenal beat them, and they're like, oh, okay, we're out of it now.
The thing is, weird. I don't want us to be looked at as. I don't want to sit here and go, we're in a title race, and then 2 months down the line, when we finish 9 points away, go, we didn't want it anyway. You know, it's too soon. That's why I've stuck so close to. I think this is just we're just enjoying it. But I think United will have a big say in the title race, because we've still got to go to teams. Do you know what I mean? We've still got to go to teams.
Yeah.
And I think it will go down to the wire, this title. I don't think.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I mean, Lawless, you might disagree with this, but I don't think that Etihad game's going to decide it, because let me tell you why. Arsenal this season have played Manchester United, lost one, won one, even not got anything over each other there. City even have gone to Man United, won one, lost one, not getting anything over each other there. Now, Man City have already beaten us. Now, if they beat us again, they will have 3 points. But at the moment, that will only put them a point ahead of us. And we've got the game in hand tomorrow. So, again, they go behind us. So, I think it's against the other teams. I think it's the points I've been frustrated with this season are when we drew to Brentford and we lost to Everton and we dropped points at Southampton. Not drawing at the Emirates at Newcastle, a bit frustrated. But Newcastle were a good side at the time. Manchester United at Old Trafford, anyone can lose there. Losing to Man City, I was like disappointed because Arsenal had lost, but I wasn't like, we've thrown this away, losing to them. No, we ain't. We could have thrown it away, losing to teams like Everton or dropping points at Brentford or Southampton, or if we can't beat teams like West Ham or Forest or and like Leicester and Villa, if we'd have lost those games, I'd have been really peeved off. Not against Man United and Man City, because for me, I don't think you lose. Leicester won the league that fluke season. Arsenal beat them twice in that year. Who's second? It 11 points behind them.
It seems when one of you fuck up, the other one goes and fucks up.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's happened so much this season. You've both had opportunities to put each other to bed, and you've not really taken it.
We beat Leicester with a Danny Welbeck header in 2016 on Valentine's Day, and everyone said Arsenal were going to win the league now because they've beaten Leicester twice. We finished 11 points behind them. That was the year that Spurs come third in a 2-horse race. I always like to remind them. But I don't think it is get down to that game, Dan. I really don't. And I think, like you say, it's going to go down to the wire past that game. I really believe that. And it's going to be horrible for me, but in a way, it's going to be joyous because
I'd love it if it went to the last day. I'd love it. I miss those days. You know, like a couple of years ago with City
I don't
and
think I can take
Liverpool.
that.
I just love that. I love that. That's why we love football, though, isn't it? You know, if we can't be part of that title race, then you just enjoy watching.
Could you imagine? We need a Haaland moment. Do you know what I mean?
No, we
the
don't.
He's
No,
had
we
26 moments this season, the greedy bastard.
No, but like, imagine, like he deserves to win that title this season, man, and that's what them players around him who have won it, who are maybe feeling complacent.
I think that he's unsettled that team.
Oh no! Don't start this
I
narrative.
do.
That's ridiculous.
I don't think City look anything near how they have done for a long time since he's come there. I don't.
Do you think it's just Haaland? Do you think it's the players they've lost as well? Not that I'm saying Jesus is Zinchenko. I mean, it's Sterling as well and players like that.
Yeah, the dressing room. It goes down to the dressing room, doesn't it? It's not just on the pitch. You know, you can lose play on
There's
the
something
pitch.
wrong there, though, Dan. Like you say, Cancelo, he's gone. Alvarez, you've just mentioned. I didn't know about that. He's not happy now. Is that because he's not playing, I suppose?
Because he's not playing. Haaland, they reckon, as soon as this stuff come out about all of the charges, he's already saying, I want out of here. There's so much that could go wrong for this team. Kyle Walker's near the end of his career. I mean, they got Rico Lewis, who looks fantastic. Yeah. He keeps changing his defensive duo all the time.
That's weird. I don't get that.
It's bizarre. I don't know.
I'm telling you, he's trying to throw it. He's trying to just give it to his fucking mate Arteta.
Shut up.
That's what he's doing. Oh, here's Jesus. Here's Zinchenko. Let me go and just tinker around, mess my squad up. Like,
I tell you what, that was a touch class by Arteta actually on Saturday, giving Zinchenko the armband with the anniversary.
Yeah, it was good to see.
Touch class that was. That's good, man.
Yeah, that was good to see. He's been brilliant this season, Arteta. Like, listen, he's proved me completely wrong, and he's got things going, and I hope it continues, man. I really bloody do. I'd absolutely. If we win this title, I am going to go mad. I don't care what anyone says. I'm going mad.
So you should.
I'm going to be unbearable and unsufferable for Lawless and Tobes and everyone on this street.
You're not allowed. You're not allowed. Arteta out. We're not good. That's it. That's all we're going to say.
Yeah, but you're allowed to change your opinion, man. He's proved me wrong, bro. No, he don't like it. He hates. Lawless loved going on the streets with me for the last 2 years. Now he hates it.
I hate this new Potts, this new happy Potts. It's horrible.
It's all right, Potts. He turned on Newcastle just at the start of this episode. He'll like
turn on anyone, mate. He'll turn on anybody. West Ham and West Ham only. That's all it is. Boys, always a pleasure. Let's get a quick prediction for the West Ham United game. When I say West Ham United, I can't say West Ham United, can I? West Ham.
Yeah, exactly.
You United West Ham because it's at United.
Or United
no, but it's not at United, is it? It's at Man United. It's at Manchester United.
Oh dear.
West Ham United are going away to Man United. Yeah. My prediction is, I think it will be 1-0 United. West Ham United. That is. We will be. I think it's going to be a tight game. A nervy game for a lot of it, but I think our fresher legs will just edge it.
If you do that, Moyes is definitely in new contract, mate. If you get that, that is going to be. Dan?
2-1 to Manchester United, the United. I think West Ham score first and United come back 2-1.
I'm going to go 2-0 Man United. I think Man United will be too strong, and West Ham have got to concentrate on staying up. So that's what will happen. They'll go out the FA Cup. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Hopefully, I've gone 2-0 Arsenal tomorrow. Hopefully, we can't lose to Everton at home, please. I know we lost them away, but my God, oh Jesus, if we lose that game, it is not a good look. So we'll see what happens.
I'll go 1-0 Brighton as well. 1-0 against Brighton. I think we'll get a point up there. Yeah, I think we can.
Who have United got, Dan, at the weekend?
Liverpool away.
Oh, and we didn't even touch on that. Wow, what do you reckon? Quickly.
2-2.
No,
I'm going 2-2.
Is it at Anfield?
It's at Anfield. I'm going 2-2.
You'll beat them.
I hope so.
By the way, I just want to point out, when you was away, Potts, right? And it looked like Liverpool were back. Errol
yeah.
was here, like he was
Oh,
there
was he?
early. He was like, "Yep, I'm gonna be there. I'll be there." Now it's like, "Oh shit."
Oh,
Really
mate, Lawless. I stopped bantering him the second he told us he was a fucking boxer. I stopped. I was like, I'll give you your hours, mate.
Yeah, but he's a long distance away, so
Not from me.
Yeah, man.
I was...
Oh man, Liverpool are just no. I'm sorry, Liverpool need to sort their transfers out in the summer, and they have a chance of
FSG
being
is staying
back.
now as well, aren't they?
Yeah, they're staying. I don't think that's a bad thing, but I just think it changes how you look at.
Well,
things.
it is when they thought they were getting Man United's potential new owners. They thought that's what makes it even worse for them. It rubs salt in the wound. They thought they was getting these Qatar owners, and it's their rivals Man United that are getting them. Crazy, man.
Let's see what happens, man. People, make sure you smash a like. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you go do the same thing to @TheLawless and @FootballWant. Make sure you follow both of these guys. Go follow West Ham Fan TV as well. Smash a like and subscribe, and follow myself @DanArsenal87. Until then, we'll see you next time. Up the Arsenal. We'll see you next week. Take it easy, people.